So I cut off screen some interfacing to go on the brim. This is quite a stiff interfacing and I seem to have like super bloody stiff interfacing, and I have really light interfacing, so I went with the stiff one. This is what it looks like without it. So that goes on one side of the brim. Now we need to sew these together. So it's one actual ring. So sew that and do that for the Minecraft side and the kitty cat side. And then we can do the really rewarding part, sewing them together and sewing the lines on them. Right, let's go over to the machine. So I checked the online instructions and the seam allowance is 10 mil, 1 centimetre, which is pretty much exactly 3/8 of an inch. And my machine is, of course, and like the main lines over here are actually in inches, which is I find really annoying. But that's okay, that's going to work fine. So you might notice that I have got my top thread is black and my bottom thread is red. So I've decided to do black is going to be the showing colour. So black is what you're going to be able to see on the red fabric, and on the green Minecraft fabric you'll be able to see the red. Yep, that is the correct way around. So whenever I do top stitching, it's going to be different on either side. So there we go, we now have a brim with the kitties, and we'll do the brim with the Minecraft, which I've used my clips to put these together because it is now super thick. Not that I even really needed them. It just sort of grips together. For this machine, I think. This is just a stock standard cheap domestic machine. It does well, but it's, goodness, that is so weird with the structure. It definitely has a conical shape. Right, I'm gonna flatten these seams with the iron, stick them together, and we'll start going around. So I wasn't originally going to take footage of this, but look at this thing standing up on its own. It's like a cone of shame for a cat. A really big one. That's what it'll kind of be like facing down, but then yeah, we're cutting off our centimetre of seam allowance at the top and the bottom. So yeah, it's got a bit of a downward slope on the face, I'll definitely be linking the tutorial where there's some photos of the pattern makers, kids wearing it. So yeah, the seams ironed. This one's super floppy, so I'll sort of clip them together and start sewing those. So anyone with a trained eye might notice some bits and bobs, threads, loose threads around. So I clipped these together with these little things and sewed almost all the way around once. And I ended up with a giant ripple. So I pulled it all apart, put it back together, and I pinned it. I don't normally use a lot of pins until I have to use a lot of pins. So I went extra with my pins. And the first time I did this, I had this black interfacing layer down and the red floopy paper up. Floopy fabric up. And it's the red that caused me the issues. So the opposite way around. Because what will happen is the little feet under this actually pick up the fabric and pull it. And if there's any sort of loose red fabric, it'll pull that. So hopefully if there's any wrinkles, it'll sort of even them out a bit. Okay, 3/4 through. And this time it's nice and flat. So I'm leaving here for tonight because in the tutorial, like I have to turn this. And if anyone out there who's ever turned a curve, you need to clip little triangles out so that when you turn it over, it'll lay flat. Now the tutorial for this has the lady use pinking shears to cut around the outside sort of close to the stitching, which is fantastic, but I don't have pinking shears and those have been on my to purchase list for a while. So I would need to go around and cut little triangles out all the way around, and it's going to take forever. And I cannot be bothered, so I'm going to buy some pinking shears and finish that tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, we'll see what I'm doing tomorrow. And I mean, it's Tuesday night. James's birthday is on Sunday. I mean, honestly, I'm almost done. I've got to sew these together, so I might do that. Still not too late, because you sew the brim together similar to how we just did. So this isn't the brim. What is this piece actually called? The middle. You sew those together to make a loop, like I did with the brim, and then you sew the top into each of those, and then you sew one of them to the brim and then the other one to the inside to cover up the seam. So you know, I'm actually not too far off being done. This is a really quick project. I could probably do 20 before Christmas, but I'm not going to. We'll see if I do 2 or 3. But yeah, let's sew these together. I don't know if I'll sew the circle on. That takes, it's not hard, but you've got to focus, and it's late, so I might just sew these 2 together and call it a night.